What's up, my comic fans? Kara back here with a Capital K Comic Reviews, coming at you with part 2 to this video for comic collecting for beginners and 5 tips on collecting major keys or key books in comics. So you're this person, if you're watching this, the person that wants to straight get into the key hunting game and just go after those big books and chase those first appearances and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to do this, or my 5 tips on how to do this. But before we do get into this, if you like this video or you like the previous video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification so you get notified when I drop new content on my channel, which is every week. So hit those, muchly appreciate it. But we'll get into this video, top 5 tips. Right guys, so here we go. First tip guys, major tip, is probably the most paramount tip for collecting comics in general, but definitely when you're collecting big key comics or any key comics, is grading and condition. If you don't know what grading and condition of books are or comics are, this is something that you need to learn before you buy your first key book. There's a lot of things out there online about grading and condition, what to look out for when buying books, you know, foxing, creases and spine ticks and missing this and rusted staples, missing pages, missing adverts, whole lot of things, right, when it comes to conditioning and grading. So you can go online, like I said, and find a grading system. Overstreet Price Guide has got one which is pretty good, which is kind of the benchmark for grading. Now this will tell you, like this Moon Knight over here, this will tell you what this number is and what it means and why it's like that. So it'll tell you the difference between a 9.6, between a 5, between a 5.5 and a 6 and a 7 and a 3, and it'll tell you the difference between a near mint to very good, to poor, to, you know, fine. These are the things you need to know when collecting comics, key comics, and just comics in general. So I can't stress how important, how paramount it is to focus on grading or get to know grading and condition before getting into this key comic collecting game. My second tip for this is research your keys or research your books, guys. With researching your books, what I mean by that is that in any major run or story arc of books, there are certain keys in them. In these books, they may be major ones, they may be minor ones, they're all still keys. They may be number ones, they may be the last issue, they're all still keys. So what you need to learn and research is to research these things, because you need to know the difference between printings, from the first printing to the second printing to the third printing to the fourth printing, to variant covers, to and sketch covers and all these things like that. Excuse me. You need to learn, because for example, Death of Superman, if you look at that book, if you're a new beginner to it, you would not know the difference, because it's all the printings of it are the same cover, and the only way you define what printing it is they've changed the header lettering and color, and they've changed it as it's been printed, and that tells experienced comic collectors the difference between the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, you know, printing, or however many printings they are. As for new guys, they might just see the Death of Superman and think, sweet, it's the Death of Superman, I'm gonna get it, that's the key, grab it, find out it's the 8th printing of it. As well to variant covers, to sketch covers and all these kind of things. You'll find when you research comics that there's a lot of variant covers out there for a certain comic, and then you'll find out that not, you know, you'd naturally think that the first printing is the one that's worth the most, but a lot of the times you'll find that that issue comic, but the 4th printing with the variant cover or the 5th printing with the sketch cover is 9 times out of 10 worth more than the original. This is just one of the things happening. I have a special guest artist on it, and these are all the things you need to learn when researching a book. So research your books, guys, before you buy them. My next tip is, like I said in the previous video, networking, guys. Social media platforms are fantastic, get you out in there and get you into communities and connected with other like-minded people like yourself that are into this comic game and are kind of in the same thing as you, as hunting comics down and looking for trades and stuff like that, and that will get you to your benchmark or to where you need to go. So yeah, hit the platforms, hit the Facebooks, hit the Instagrams. There's a lot of things on YouTube, a lot of lists for key comics that you can just look up, and they'll tell you the top 5 or top 100 key comics, or the top hottest comics coming out and stuff like this to look out for that are going to be keys in the future. So yeah, networking, guys, that's that tip. Next tip is another one. It's kind of different to, it's the same tip as I got in the last video. Shop within your budget, guys, but it's kind of more serious here because when hunting with keys or buying keys or getting into this game, it can get real expensive really quick, and that's where the grading and that comes in. The higher the grade, and you know, a lot of factors, the higher the grade of the book, what the actual key is, depending on what character it is, or if it's a death or anything like that, whatever the subject matter is of the key, that's what the grading's all about. And with that, you could see a 3.0 go for normal price, and then you could see a 9.6 go for thousands. And that's the difference between grading, guys, and what you need to watch for. If you can only afford the 3.0 book, that's what you can afford. That's what you can afford, guys, okay? A way to try and get around that is to fund your hobby. And by saying that, like I said and mentioned in the previous video, trading and upselling to get to where you want to get to. Trading comics to get to the stage where you want to get to, or a key book that you want to get, will help you generate the funds or help feed your addiction, to get you up there without upsetting the wife too much, you know. But yeah, so shop within your budget, guys, because like I said, it can get a really expensive game really quickly. So yeah, and my last tip, guys, when collecting key comics, storage. All right, storage is a big issue. Do not, whatever you do, have them out of sleeves or board. Always have them boarded, always have them sleeved, and store them the proper way. I'll do a video in the future of the proper way, or the way I store comics, because even in that, there's things that you need to know the difference between silver, gold and bronze age boardings and bags, as opposed to mylar bags and plastic, you know, all these things, but we won't get into that. But storage, guys, is another key one, because the last thing you want is mildew getting in there, foxing happening, or water damage happening in your books and stuff. So store them in a nice dry place, and there are boxes out there, long boxes you can get out there that are great for storing comics in, you know, cardboard one as well as hard plastic ones, or just normal containers that you find around your house, or you can buy from your local DIY store, and just store them nice in a nice dry area, guys. So that's another biggie. But that's my 5 tips, guys, for collecting key comics. And yeah, I hope that helped you out in your journey and starting your journey on where you want to get to with collecting comics. And I wish you all guys all the luck with where you want to go to with this. And yeah, so go by those tips. If you like those, then or if you've got tips of your own that you want to share, hit them in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you guys to see what your thoughts are on what are your tips, and with if you've got experienced comic people on here that are watching this, put your tips in the comments so people that do watch this video that are beginners can go in the comments and have a look, and get extra tips on top of that, on top of what I'm giving, to help them out to get them where they are. So with that said, guys, thank you very much for watching the videos. Hit the like if you like, hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed, hit the bell notification so you get notified, and we'll see you on the next video, guys. Weeze out.